All right, aloha everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Gun Talk. I'm Flying Hawaiian. We got Big Hoss and Cannon.
Hello.
Hey.
So this is not going to be our normal episode. Running in a little technical difficulties here, but we're going to do our best with what we got. So before we get right into it, let's hear from one of our sponsors that's been a long time standing on our show. Hopefully, the ad won't play. Oh my god. Yeah. So, W is our long-standing sponsor of this channel. If you like good energy drinks but without the crash, W is the way to go. They have very unique flavors. Japanese soda is what I've been drinking on. About to be ordering the Orange Slice, Tiger's Blood, and the Galaxy one.
Personally, I'm probably going to be getting s'mores soon enough to try it out.
Yeah, Media was telling us that he tried the s'mores and it was pretty good. What about you, Cannon? Have you decided to order any more?
Yeah, I want to get that strawberry margarita flavor that they just came out with from that streamer.
Well, let me know if it actually tastes as good.
Yeah.
I'll actually see if I can get it to run. Please reach out. Oh, never mind. Yeah, we'd have to get stuff working again. Whoops.
Yeah, because apparently they don't want to let us play our ads right now. But it's all right. We'll make do.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun episode.
Yep.
All the bloopers and whatnot. So, today we're going to be deconstructing films, fictional films, firearms. You know, have you ever wondered about Han Solo's blaster? Could it actually fire? Or how about the Predator's shoulder cannon? Does it really work? Well, we're not just going to look how cool these movie guns are, but maniacally kind of deconstructing it to how you guys would pull it.
To the base gun and what they are and how possible it could be to make them functional.
Yeah, by talking about like their power, in the films, and actually how could it actually work in real life, and discover what makes these fabricated firearms unforgettable. So, we'll just get right into it because, with my topic, weapons as world building and then their lure, we're looking at a lot of these famous firearms. You got Hellboy's Good Samaritan, the Deckard iconic blaster in Blade Runner. Or how about the elemental stones in The Fifth Element? I think everybody remembers The Fifth Element.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You see these little rocks and you have to figure out what to do to get them activated. Well, water, earth, wind, fire, very simple, but when you look at it, it's like, why are these rocks so special? So, but do these fictional firearms would work in a real life basis? Well, when you look at the shoulder cannon from Predator, well, there's no way to actually have ammunition standby to be able to make that work constantly like you see in the movie. You got a little tiny arm right there holding the cannon right there. That's only really in real life a one-shot weapon.
And that's if it was, um, regular ammunition. They got around it by it being a plasma-based weapon that is going off of some sort of energy source inside, like a backpack. In real life, there's no energy weapons that outside of like a possible laser, but that's asking for a lot of energy, and that would be a big backpack.
Oh yeah, and you know, I don't know if you guys seen it. I've seen it on YouTube of people making lightsabers, and they have this huge battery pack they have to have hanging on them with a long cord to it to make it work, and it's like a big, huge plasma cutter, pretty much.
Yeah,
And instead of going so far away, they actually made it where they shorten up the stream where it works.
yeah,
So that right there shows, you know, yeah, having a lightsaber is pretty cool. I would love to have one, a real one, if it was actually possible how they have it in the movies.
exactly.
But it's not feasible right now.
Correct.
But what is feasible, what I've been seeing, I don't know if you guys seen, are these energy type weapons that uses magnetics to throw out disc.
Yeah, they're Gauss rifles, coilless, like what you call them? Uh, they're called coil guns and rail guns, and those are ones that we based off of. Hey, the technology was in sci-fi films. Let's see if we can make it real.
Oh yeah, and those that a fire I've seen is pretty nice, pretty cool. It's good non-lethal weapon, but how they made it was very incredible. Just using magnetics to launch out a projectile.
Yeah, and again, these are things that are bulky right now, but they started off way more bulky, and now they're down to actual handheld versions.
Oh yeah, and talking about more of these weapons in a narrative form is, these weapons are these characters. Okay, throughout the whole entire movie process, it keeps going and it keeps evolving the character, it keeps helping the character. If you look at most people are Star Wars fans. You have lightsabers. That means they're Jedi. We all know that. We see the stormtroopers blasters. We know they're stormtroopers because they can't really hit anything. Then you got Han Solo's. Their blaster. It looks like a Luger at first. I don't know what you guys think about. Like,
Well, it's a broom handle Mauser.
oh yeah, but when you look at some angles, it almost looks like a German Luger that's modified. But when you see that blaster of Han Solo's in the screen by itself, that's iconic. You guys know it's Han Solo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then even not even weapons, or actually, yeah, it kind of is a weapon. The Millennium Falcon. When we see that, we know it's Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Yeah.
And then now to the newest movies, 7, 8, 9, they were Rey's Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that we see today could be a good weapon that we can build today, but there's no 100% that it would be very usable. So it's, to me, what gives the fantasy of these firearms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what other kind of iconic firearms that we know of that can be easily explained, because most non-sci-fi, it's typical firearms that we see: a Glock 19, a Pit Viper, you know, a MMP Shield. You know, those are actual firearms. But when we talk in fantasy, we have to imagine what kind of firearm it would be in real life. But why does these firearms make these characters iconic?
Right. I think the characters themselves help make the gun iconic. You know, the use of them, but also, you know, you see Han Solo shoot 20 bad guys with his laser pistol, never missing a shot or rarely missing a shot, you know, and he's like you know, kind of the outlaw or whatever, the space outlaw or space mercenary, and it's like that gun's like his signature, you know, like
Oh yeah,
you know, it's like signature to him. Seeing someone else with that gun, it would look weird.
Unless, of course, they're related to Han Solo and taking up his
Right,
mantle or
right.
whatever.
But like if you saw Boba Fett with Han Solo's gun, that would look really weird because I mean Boba Fett has his own iconic gun as well. But you know, swapping their guns around, that you would be like, wait, what's going on here?
yeah. And when we look at it, you know, you guys seen Hellboy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys seen his Good Samaritan revolver?
Oh, I
yeah,
love it. I love it.
Oh yeah, but you guys know it's a beefed up size of the Welby revolver,
Yeah.
yeah.
and so that's a real gun, but Hollywood made it bigger.
Right.
To the point where it would be very heavy, but it could still technically function.
Oh yeah,
You'd probably break a wrist firing it, but
and you know that's nearly 10 pounds of a firearm, so it makes sense to have Hellboy with a massive, heavy gun for him to use because his big hand.
yeah, and his overall muscular form.
Oh yeah, and it's only a four shot that shoots 22 millimeter rounds.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
a little bit beyond your 357 or 444 Magnum. But with this fictional firearm, it became iconic that know who it is.
Yeah.
So, but enough with the world building. Let's continue on with the whole entire deconstruction. I will pass it off to Big Hoss on his topic.
Yeah, and I'm basically going to be deconstructing what fantasy weapons um they used to make the gun. And yes, we kind of did this a little before, but I'm going to take it to how they did it and what those iconic guns truly are for what they are. For example, look at RoboCop's infamous handgun.
Oh, RoboCop! I forgot about that. I loved that guy when I was a kid.
What they used was a real firearm that really worked. It's called a Beretta 93R. It is the only Beretta that is built for burst fire as well as semi-auto. Whenever you see it, they'll typically have a small stock and a extended magazine. But what they did was they made a special barrel for it to extend past where it is, and they made this special clamshell that would go around it and make it look like it's this tall sights long thing, but in the end it's still just a Beretta 93R, and it works in the movie like it works in real life. So that one is very probable to work because it is a working gun. It's not that hard to make one that would actually fire as a real gun would.
Oh yeah.
And then some of the ones that are kind of you brought up a decent one was Decker's blaster from Blade Runner. That was based off of a real gun. There was a real gun at the core of its construction. It was a Charter Arms 38 Special. And they basically took a bolt action rifle thing, put it on top of the rail right above where the cylinder would go. So yeah, it was a fully functioning firearm that could, not work like it did in the movie, but it was still a working firearm that could fire blanks, and you could make a functional one that would fire out real bullets. And there's a lot of 80s 90s action sci-fi movies. They used real guns to base off of, just so that they can get muzzle flash and fire blanks.
Well,
What?
Going off of what you said, bringing that up, yeah, a lot of the firearms that we see in Hollywood, especially sci-fi, you are right. They use real firearms to get that muzzle flash because of the blanks. Like in Aliens, I know we see in a lot of those firepower, those were actually blanks in that firearm.
Yeah.
So I had to point it out there. Just didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, that's fine. In Aliens, their smart guns were MG42s, and their pulse rifles were these combined weapons that were specially made clamshells around a World War II Thompson, a Remington 870, and Sposs furniture. And it's just, taking these real guns that, hey, I think we can make these look way more interesting and do it. And nowadays, you could actually make a firearm that has a ammo counter. They started making them. because of these sci-fi movies that had like the ammo counters.
Yeah,
And
I don't know if you've seen it yet. Someone created the Halo assault rifle with the ammo counter on it,
yeah,
and I thought that was pretty cool. And it was a YouTuber. I can't remember what YouTuber it was, but they made it and they put a video out, and you can watch that counter count down all the way down to 0, and when they have to unload or reload.
yeah.
And that took a lot of process for that.
And in Russia, they actually made a shotgun that has a smart screen on the back that will tell you how many rounds you have loaded, how many rounds you have left, and it will actually like it shows you how many rounds you fired in total, how many fire you have today, or how many you uh like it shows you all this information on this smart screen, and it's all because of these old action movie, sci-fi movies that they are trying to replicate. um but going back to deconstructing other weapons, Han Solo's blaster was a C-96 Mauser. Again, real gun. It could fire just like the way it looks, because they really didn't do anything that would make it not functional.
Oh yeah, they had to had some kind of way to make it look real. You can't sit there and have the actors going bang bang bang.
Yeah. The stormtroopers' weapons were all Sterling submachine guns. You'll notice a lot um of these Hollywood guns are actually surplus military from different countries because they could get them cheaply and they worked for what they were using them for. The lawgiver from Judge Dredd, I don't know if you'd seen that one or not, but that's another kind of iconic one. It's based off of a Beretta 92 FS that has a clamshell around it to make it look futuristic.
Oh yeah,
And it just shows the kind of genius that these that the people actually think of to make something work but still look futuristic. What about the the transform? You talked about the Fifth Element. The Zorg gun that he was selling to the aliens or whatever.
oh yeah, the one the big
That
huge
had
bulky thing and it like folded out and you stick your hand. It's like almost eat your hand up.
yeah. It had a real gun in it. It had a AK-74U as the base gun to make it fire, and then they had a whole different other ones that were made specifically for the other uses. They had one that used compressed air to shoot the arrows. They had one for each one of the functions, but the one that they used for firing had a real gun in it.
Oh yeah. And it's a lot of people. It's hard to believe like all these firearms that we're talking about from these sci-fis, all these are not real firearms. They can't be built. No, what Big Hoss is saying, and I'm pretty sure Cannon's gonna say the same thing, is all these are based off of real firearms, but beefed up in a Hollywood style.
And it is very possible and nowadays to make them work like they do in the movies, because as long as they're not energy based, or if they're like, if they use actual ammunition, it's very possible to actually make these guns um for civilians to have replicas of.
Oh yeah, you want to see? I want to see being a replica, and it's always been my favorite weapon. Is the Halo energy sword.
Well, they make bladed versions of it, and
Well, that
you
ain't
know,
very much cool.
huh?
Like that ain't very much cool. I like to see that energy weapon where, you see it in the Halo TV show, the games where you push a button or something and the sword pops out around the hand.
Yeah. Like, that's one thing, we don't have the technology yet.
Oh
But
yeah.
you know that there's someone going to be out there who will be experimenting and trying to make it, because it's so iconic. People love it, and they know a lot of people just make stuff like this not because they, whether or not they should, because they could.
Like who would have the balls to do it? They already have people making lightsabers.
Yeah, it's just a matter of who's crazy enough to make these things work. And I can guarantee you there's always at least one.
Oh yeah. So yeah. Anything else on topic?
I mean, I could go on for ever telling you, like, oh, this gun was used to make this. This gun was used to make this. But I think my point, I think I got the point across that yes, there are guns like these movies that always used real guns and just made them look futuristic because it's cinematic to have the firearms like going off and firing all of the, the flashing, the theatrical blasts. It looks good on screen.
Oh yeah.
So they always made it real guns to give you that experience.
We're gonna take a short break here. Let's hopefully this would work. Uh, and then we'll talk about our second sponsor of the channel. All right, we're back. Our second sponsor, if everybody's been watching throughout most of the series or the season, is that it's Thread of Resistance. If you like dark humor and parody type shirts and have a good sense of humor, this is the way to go. You go to threadresistance.com, I believe it is. You can buy one of the shirts. If you use Flying Hawaiian for your code, you can get you'll get $1 off your order. Um, I own the one that says there's no First Amendment without the Second Amendment, and well, it's kind of true. What do you guys think? We all seen the trailer and all the other stuff.
Yeah. They make good shirts. I mean, they're good slogans and they're funny.
So, well, I'm going to pass it off to Kenan on his topic and continue this great discussion about all these sci-fi or fictional firearms.
All right. We've had a lot of popular guns mentioned. A few of them may have been inspired by real world or by fake guns, real world guns inspired by fake guns. If you've ever seen Trigun, and you've seen Vash Stampede's revolver, um, it it kind of reminds me of the Chippewa Rhino.
And guess which one came first?
the Trigun revolver. Did it work one way or the other? I don't know, but you can see how firearms are starting to get more futuristic looks. The new Kel-Tec double barrel rifle, the DPX, I think it's called. DPX 12.
Yeah, the double barrel shotgun that is a pump action holds 10 rounds and has 2 different triggers.
Yeah, it's a bullpup shotgun, and that's very futuristic looking. As for the military, though, they're not in a hurry to change anything out because everything's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And we're at a point where our weapon systems are highly customizable, and all of our ammo is working within one system. So they're not really looking to spend a big part of their budget on changing weapon systems. Now, as for large scale weapon systems, that's a different story. They've come out with new satellites, new gravitational weapons,
sound weapons,
light weapons that are non-lethals. Like the phaser, I think it's called. It shoots out laser lights everywhere, and if you're looking at them, it basically drops you to your knees. I read about one called Active Denial. It basically heats the water on your skin to about 130 degrees. It's non-lethal.
But it gives you a really bad sunburn.
Well, it's supposed to make you run away. It heats it up to where you run away. It's a crowd dispersal weapon. And
sounds like a bad day.
Yeah.
And what should be used for these rioters that are protesting or riding of ice. Honestly.
Yeah, and it's like the military is coming up with all these things. We start need to getting them to the police on a home front.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
So yeah, as for our lethal weapon system, what our soldiers are going to be using as lethal weapon systems does not look like it's going to change anytime soon. Are we going to see the rifles from Starship Troopers or Halo or anything of that in our lifetime? To be honest, probably not.
I wish.
Well,
Yeah, it'd be really cool. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's highly unlikely.
it's more
Um,
likely to find it in commercial use rather
yeah,
than
you're going to
military.
find it more in commercial use than in military use.
Because it looks like the military has really set themselves with the M4 platform, and if your soldiers are already trained in it, it doesn't take, you're going to have to retrain your soldiers if you switch out weapon systems. And
Well, to that fact, I don't think it's going to be really hard for soldiers to get used to another firearm, because if you look over the years, we had the M1 Grand. Soldiers in World War II used that all the time, and then we came out with the M4 or M16. And then moved up to I believe the M4, but one of
yeah,
those, and then into a carbine. So each of those progressed, and the soldiers caught on quickly because it's just a rifle, but with different calibers and different designs, um, including with the pistols. For the better part of World War One, World War Two, we had the 1911, and then once the 1911, 100 years later, they just Beretta decided to come out with the M9, and that's pretty much civilian of the Beretta 92F. If some people didn't know that, and so they relearned on that, but still, they gave the troops options whether or not they wanted to keep the 1911 or had the Beretta.
Right. But since the 60s, whenever the M16 came out, we've been keeping that M16 chassis, albeit in different forms, going smaller to bigger and stuff like that. But we've mainly been keeping that initial form, military, commercial, um, in that 5.56 and 6.8 Creedmoor and 308 Blackout, in various calibers, but mainly in the military, it's 5.56.
and then they have uppers that switch it to 7.62 and all that type of stuff. It's a versatile thing that, hey, all the soldiers are trained on. It doesn't take time for yes, they could quickly adapt to it, but it also takes it does have a little bit of a learning curve to new systems.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't think our soldiers are going to have too much of a hard time transitioning to a new firearm, because you have some soldiers that have to qualify to run like the machine gun mounted on the uh, vehicle, or to operate a RPG. There's different qualifications soldiers have to go through, but still go back to their original firearm.
Right. And I understand that, and I know that. But the thing is, the military just underwent, not too long ago, maybe about 10 or 11 years ago, something like that, um, a test trial to see what would uh, be their next, if they wanted to replace the M4 platform. And they had, like, that's whenever the ARX 160 came out, um, and several other ones. The most prominent one was the ARX 160. That one made it to stage 3 trials. That one came from Beretta. It's or was it ARX was independent? I don't remember. It was Italian though. I knew that. It had, I think that one kind of started the trend of having ambidextrous
Controls.
charging cables and just controls in general. Everything was ambidextrous, so it could be for left-handed or right-handed soldiers. But it didn't make the cut, and the military stayed with their M4 system or the M16 M4 system.
And they actually did another trial just 2 years ago.
Oh, I never heard about that one.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, all of the submissions were basically an M4 style platform. And now they're coming out with a one that, again, it is basically an M4, but from a different company, and it's been modified to be more reliable, less fickle with certain things, and very adaptable.
Oh yeah, but to continue on with that, here's a good question: is in all these movies, these sci-fi, do you think these, like most of these iconic fictional firearms, are AI or CGI, or just actually us remaking it to what we want in the movie?
It is basically they're real firearms to begin with. They just put them in new clothes. But yeah, it's the civilian market that's going to be the ones with that sort of doing that sort of stuff, because they're the ones who want it. The military don't want these new futuristic firearms and stuff like that, but
Are you sure? Because we all know about Area 51.
Well, we don't talk about Area 51.
They're making some futuristic firearms in there, or some kind of weapon.
I mean, they came out with the Black Hawk and the B-2 bomber, so I mean, they're coming out with stuff that's futuristic. Are they going to ever tell us?
No.
Not until it's well past trials.
No, they won't. They won't tell us until they release it out for military use. Only.
Yeah,
like they did with the Black Hawk, like they did with the B-2 stealth bomber. It's to hide it until someone leaks it, or cover it up until it releases.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if military comes out with a plasma rifle first.
I mean, they came out with the railgun first, so I mean, it's not that much of a stretch.
And I mean, they had devastating.
Yeah, the railguns they made went through a lot of 13, 14 cinder, well-built cinder block walls and steel plates that didn't stop them until
don't want to mess with that technology.
Nope. And they even put it onto a destroyer for a while.
Oh yeah.
And they're still out there. They're not being used as much because of peacetime, but
no, I thought they used it against the Venezuelans for the war on drugs in the Gulf of America. But to me, it's always going to be Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, I'm not changing that because whenever you live next to it for so long, you become attached to it.
Yeah, and I thought that some of those videos that are showing that it looked like the railgun was hitting those boats.
Which, like I said, there are 4 destroyers with the railguns. Some of the newest the models that came out, they stopped doing the railguns because they saw, okay, we don't really need this right now, but they still put it into action with what they had.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a good question. Okay. This is, you know, looking at the firearms, looking at like the technology. With the recent movies that are coming out, do you think the new Tron movie is all CGI firearms or real firearms?
I couldn't say I have not seen it, but I've seen the previous Tron movies, and that's all CGI.
And now it's easy to make a prop that looks functional, and then just nowadays CGI in effects.
That's true as well.
Oh yeah. Um, here's another good one, and I'm gonna put a post on YouTube on the community part of the channel. What is your favorite fictional firearm and why?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea right there.
Yeah.
In my opinion, this is one of those instances where the story about the rebreather in the James Bond movie. Did you ever hear of that one?
No.
In one of the James Bond movies, I forgot what it is. He had what looked like an inhaler and a little part attached to it. I think that was in fact what it was. It was like an asthma inhaler and a little part attached to it. It was just something they threw together. Anyway, James Bond puts it in his mouth and swims way far underwater, and it acts like a real rebreather. It doesn't really, not in real life. It's multiple takes of Roger Moore swimming underwater and catching his breath and then going underwater, I guess. Anyway, the military approaches the people that developed the James Bond movie and says, we want y'all to show us how y'all made those, and whoever created it start creating those for the military. How long does the rebreather last? And they're like, however long your guy can hold his breath, because it was just a prop. It didn't work. So the military actually thought it worked, that it was a real rebreather, and it wasn't. It was just a prop. It didn't really give him any oxygen. It was just him holding his breath and swimming.
Although recently they did make it. A civilian market made it.
Yeah.
And now it's more of a it is technically a rebreather. It doesn't give you that much time, but it is a real thing now. And it's all because they saw it in the movie and they wanted to make it real.
Oh yeah. And my favorite fictional firearm is the plasma rifle from Halo, because that thing is so bulky, but when I was playing the game, it's almost as accurate like any sniper rifle.
Yeah.
Or a battle rifle, however you want to put it. And there's some flaws to it, like it overheats sometimes, and then you have to stop, reload it in these little cartridges. But that firearm, that was one of my favorite ones I've always went to when I was playing Halo. Besides using Master Chief's assault rifle.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's another instance of, can it work? Now, no. Later, very possible because, again, like we're saying, there are people who want it because of the sole fact they like it. So they want to make it work.
Oh yeah, and that's going to be the question of the week. And we'll, what is it? Next week is going to be our last episode of this season, or is it going to be the 23rd? 2 weeks from now.
It's 2 weeks from now. I think we're gonna wait until after the Gundies so we could talk about those.
Okay. So in 2 weeks is going to be our last episode, and we'll do for that episode we'll do some recaps from previous ones and talk about how much we like doing this podcast and cover up all the questions, all the stuff that we have posted, and try to explain most things. I don't know about you guys, how excited you guys are to ending this first season of the Gun Talk.
I mean, I've had a blast doing this.
Yeah, me too.
It's definitely a nice something to do. It's nice that people are starting to
watch it. Even
yeah,
though
like,
they're not watching it live, they're watching it in some capacity.
yeah,
So
and
there's people that care about this.
Oh yeah.
and we're actually helping people learn about different things and the way we approach things, and we have fun here, and it's nice to have it's nice to have fun while still providing a service to the community.
Oh yeah. And this is a community where even anti-gun people can come join, come ask questions, because I love to hear from the other side their thoughts and everything instead of just hearing just all from the 2A. I open my channel up to the anti-2A groups, the anti-2A people to come and join, even having a debate. Anybody going to be watching this, come to the end for the first season. Second season is going to come up soon. We just got to line up a few things, but I'm open to debates. Anybody who's willing to come on this channel and debate with us, we'll love to have.
Yeah, everyone's opinion matters. Even the it would even be more helpful whenever we get if we got anti 2A people, because we can see both sides and we can tell them our side, they can tell us their side, and we can clear up facts for non 2A people, and we can get the views of the non 2A to see why why they are non 2A.
Oh yeah. So that's what's going to be coming out for next season is debates, more laws, because laws are never going to change. We're going to have to update you guys on the new laws coming out for 2026, and it's going to be a doozy. I don't know about you guys. I'd rather start doing my homework to present all this.
Oh yeah,
man.
Like we're gonna let the community know right now that we're not going to just be sitting around doing nothing on this short, hiatus of gun talk. We are going to be doing our homework and working hard to make the next season even better than this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, Cannon or Big Hoss. Hopefully, here soon we can do live events at gun shows, gun rallies, anti rallies, all that stuff to get everybody's side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can bring a bigger and better new season. But for this episode, I would like to say thank you for everybody. Even if you're watching later on, thank you guys for watching, showing your support, even though.
Yeah, and we don't really care if you watch it now or later, but just watching it shows us that you care about what we're saying, and we do encourage people that who can to watch live and put in their inputs, but it's just nice to know that we are getting to people.
Oh yeah. And so for the next week's episode of the Gun Talk, we're going to be reviewing the Gundies and things about SHOT Show that is next week. The Gundies is on the, what was it, Monday? The wait, no, next week's the 16th. So the Gundies is on the 19th of this month, and SHOT Show is 20th to the 23rd. So here on the 23rd, we're going to be going over the Gundies and SHOT Show. Next week, we can do something. What kind of topics would you guys like to hear next week? Put down in the comments below. We'll get it, even if you're watching afterwards. We'll love to hear and see what you guys want to see. So, you got any more comments, concerns, you guys?
Nope.
I think I'm good.
This was a good episode. Enjoyed everybody. Wish there was more people to talk that can talk and put down comments, but it was a great show. So, aloha. See you guys next week. If I did it.